Masters of the Air picks up with the aftermath of the Bloody Hundredth's deadliest mission yet in Episode 3. Episode 4 focuses on the survivors of that bloody battle, who are now scattered across 2 continents. Those lucky few that make it back to base prepare for their next mission, whilst others are lost in enemy territory. It's another intense installment in Season 1, as the story split off into a handful of intriguing narratives. Part 4 starts with the survivors returning home. They don't know it yet, but they've lost Kurt, Claytor, and Van Noy, among many other crewmen. Quinn survived the fight, although he is now stranded in Belgium. He hides out with a farming family and eventually reunites with Bailey. His colleague has befriended an American soldier called Bob along the way. Quinn, Bailey, and Bob are interrogated by their allies. They must prove to them that they are Americans. The allies kill Bob, though, who it is revealed was a German spy pretending to be an American. Quinn and Bailey are surprised to find out that Bob was an infiltrator. What happens after completing 25 missions? Back in Blighty, the crewmen discuss their end goal. They all want to return home to their loved ones. If they are successful in completing 25 back-to-back missions, then they will be allowed to go back home. Lieutenant Glenn Dye returns from his 25th mission, and the squadron all celebrate his last days in England. The gang discusses this crazy achievement, stating that only 12 of their initial 35 crews are still alive. Their odds of reaching that hallowed 25 missions seem highly unlikely now Bucky and Gale meet with new recruits Rosenthal and Nash. At this point, Gale has completed 21 missions. His dream goal is now in sight. Rosenthal asks for advice, but Gale and Bucky are clearly disillusioned by it all. They believe it comes down to sheer luck in the end. What happens to Quinn and Bailey in Masters of the Air Episode 4? Back in Belgium, Quinn and Bailey embark on their perilous mission home. They are given a French guide, who will aid them in their return journey. Quinn lies about Babyface's death and puts the duo in danger, hiding a letter from the farmer's daughter. At a heavily guarded train station, Quinn panics and runs. He is thankfully saved by the French without raising too much suspicion. Quinn is starting to become a real liability, though. Bucky takes some time out to relax and recover in England, getting rather drunk in London City. He flirts with a woman at a bar. They end up sleeping together and end the night observing the bombings in the distance from her apartment window. What is the 100th Bomb Group's next mission? At the base, the group prepares for their next mission, this time without Bucky's assistance. They plan to bomb the U-boats at Bremen for a second time. Gale's plane encounters some technical issues before takeoff, but Ken is able to fix the plane just in time. We aren't shown this latest battle sequence, but experience the tense situation from the rest of the team's point of view. At base, only a few planes return home. 8 planes and 80 men are missing, presumed dead. All the main players are unaccounted for, including Gale and Crosby. Rosenthal returns from his first mission. He's visibly shaken after witnessing the fresh horrors of war. The colonel questions him at the debriefing. They only saw a few parachuters exiting their planes, but visibility was poor overall. There was a lot of confusion during the battle. The survivors struggled to offer any useful information. How does Masters of the Air Season 1 Episode 4 end? The episode ends back with Bucky. He wakes from his adventurous night out, still in the apartment the very next morning. Bucky says goodbye to his lover and walks the streets home. He sees the death and destruction from last night's bombings whilst roaming the streets. Bucky grabs a newspaper and sees the headline news story. The 8th Air Force succeeded with their Bremen mission, destroying the Nazi U-boat base, although 30 bombers were lost in the process. Bucky is concerned about Gale's safety. He calls the base immediately. Red answers the phone, saying that the results are not good. He doesn't say that Gale is dead, but it is heavily implied. In response to Gale's death, Bucky asks to be signed up for the next mission. He wants immediate revenge. What did you think of Masters of the Air Season 1 Episode 4? Comment below.